Today I wanted to talk about my gold portfolio and the breakdown and strategy of how I went about stacking. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Empire Precious Metals. Thanks so much for watching. Today I wanted to talk about my gold portfolio. I've often talked about gold, silver, and other investments on this channel. You want to have a variety of things in your portfolio. Stocks, bonds, crypto, collectibles, are also known as alternative assets, precious metals, cash, etc. While I do have my portfolio broken down in a fancy spreadsheet that I made to see all of my different positions, I've never really examined the breakdown of my gold. Now, a lot of people within the stacking community know that it's important to own different metals, silver and gold, etc. But I've said that there's different types of gold and there's different types of silver that you also need to be stacking. So when you look at your overall portfolio, a lot of professional investors out there say that you should have about 10 to 15% of your overall net worth invested in metals. But there's different types of gold that will do different things. There's bars, there's numismatic coins, there's semi-numismatic, and there's bullion. Same thing with silver. So I'm going to take a look at my overall gold position and break it down, and then we will talk about why I did what I did, why I purchased the certain items, and then go from there. Okay, so here are the different categories, at least that I put gold into, and that's going to be numismatic, and I'm just going to abbreviate for all of you. Numismatic, we've got pre-33 gold. I'm going to say we've got bullion. We'll go bullion coins. And then bullion bars. And I would say we've got semi-numismatic as another category. Semi-numismatic. And then I'll say we've got the high premium collectible stuff. And then lastly, jewelry or scrap. So I'll say jewelry / scrap gold. Scrap. All right, so these are the different categories in which I think you could have your gold broken down. And I'm just gonna, go into this now. I actually have my Discord running right now, and people are watching me live as I record, which is kind of cool. All right, so this is what we are going with. I do have my spreadsheet open, which I'm going to be referring to for the different weights, etc. So why don't we just get straight to the bullion coins first? And that is right here. We've got the bullion. We've got buffaloes. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then recently got a 14th. As you guys know, I am trying to build back the herd. So we're going to go with 14. This will be changing also. 14 bullion coins. This is going to change as the video progresses. And let me actually move this out of the way for now. We'll hop into that in just a moment. Now, I also happen to have fractional gold. This is a tube of 10th ounce gold eagles. I'm going to count this as ounces. So we've got 2 ounces here of fractional 10th ounce gold eagles. And then we actually have another tube, a second tube. So we have another 4 ounces in fractional gold. In fact, people want to see it splashed out on the table. So there we go. All right, that looks a lot prettier just like that, doesn't it? All right, so we're going to go with 4 more ounces there. So we're going to change this number to 18. And I actually do have some gold bullion coins in one of these tubes, which I'm going to fish through in just a second. And I got this tube here. Some people said, do you like playing with all of your gold? And I said, when I do the videos, otherwise I don't really mess with them a whole heck of a lot. All right, this is a collection of different types of semi-numismatic and collectibles stuff. And you know what I'm going to do also? This is a little bit different. We've got Dos Pesos, the Mexican gold. Now, the Mexican gold, while it's not pre-33, it is like 90% gold, such as the pre-33. And I have a tube of those right here. And let me get the calculator out. Where did I put my calculator? There it is. Because now we've got a tube of gold Dos Pesos. So those are at 0.048 per ounce of gold. So times, we've got 20. So we've got just about an ounce. So when you have a tube of Dos Pesos gold, you're looking at just about an ounce of gold. So we're going to round to make things nice and simple. And we're going to throw these over here. All right, move those over there. And what did I say? Close to an ounce. We're at 0.96. We're not going to be extremely exact here, but we're going to be rounding. So we're going to say we've got 1 ounce. All right. And then I'm looking specifically for, we're going to get to this in just a moment. No, not what I'm looking for. There we go. We have 1 ounce gold eagle. Throw that on there. All right, so that's at 19. And let us just look through here. All right, this is a semi-numismatic stuff. Collectible. All right, so numismatic stuff is the slabbed and graded. Let's just hop over to the bars. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I have 0 bars. I don't like bars. They're cheap, and they're the most affordable option for most people when it comes to stacking, but I just don't like them. The reason being is that the gold bars, they don't really carry much of a premium. There's no collectability or edge to them. They're just mainly bought and sold for the bullion. And that is an important strategy to have when it comes to stacking gold. But I do that when it comes to coins. Coins, in my opinion, are a little bit more sought after. People tend to lean towards coins more so than bars, at least in what I have seen and recognized, etc. So I don't do bars. If I want bullion grade stuff, I'll buy gold eagles and buffaloes, etc. So that's why I've got 0 bars. So semi-numismatic. Let's hop down to the semi-numismatic. The semi-numismatic things are going to be these. Let's move that aside. All right, so semi-numismatic are going to be things like this. The Chinese myths and legends. Queen's Beast Completer coins. This is the Lunar 1 ounce gold dragon. Here's another myths and legends. This is the dragon as well. Here's the dragon and tiger. So things like this that have a limited mintage but are bullion grade coins. These are what I would consider to be semi-numismatic. So I'm just going to go through these real quick. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the Maltese Cross. 6. John Wick coin. 7. Just looking here. And then we've got the Spanish gold coins. We got 4 of these, 1 ounce each, so we're at 11. And then I'm just going to see what else kind of I put into that category. We're going to go right here, the Scrooge McDuck. So that puts us at 12. And now I'm just going to move these up here for just the sake of space. All right, that puts us at 12 for semi-numismatic. Again, this is all in ounces. Jewelry and scrap down here. I don't really have scrap. I've got my chain around my neck. That's 18 carats, and that's going to be about 1/4 ounce of gold. So we're going to say 0.25. And then, bullion grade, a Libertad. These do have a tremendous amount of premium, but this is bullion grade. Some people would say it could be semi-numismatic. We're going to go with bullion coins on this one, so that puts us over at 20 ounces. And is that it for these? Yes. 1/2 ounce proof. that is considered a collectible. I got it at the bullion price. I'm going to put it at the bullion price. So we're going to say 20.5, 20.5. And then while I have these coins out, this is the 50 dos pesos. 50 dos pesos. The 50 pesos. These are 1.2 and change. And they're 0.9 fine in terms of gold content and purity. So I'm putting this also up there with the pre-33, and we're just going to round to 1.25. So we're going to say 2.25. Again, this is rounding. I've got the actual weights in my spreadsheet, but for the sake of time and for the purpose of this exercise, we're just going to do some rounding. Now these here, and here's one more. This is the gold Corona. Gold Corona from Austria, and this is just under an ounce as well. We're just going to round that up to, and we're putting that up here because it's not pure, 3.25, 3.25, sloppy handwriting, throw that up there. Oh, and a 20 pesos. Okay, this is close to a half ounce. The 20 pesos is just shy of a half ounce of gold. Beautiful coin. Let's throw that up there in the pre-33 category in terms of purity. So we're at 3.75 on that. Now these two down here, while these are considered semi-numismatic, they have such a tremendous premium on these. These are the Czech Lions. The Czech Lions, okay, only have a mintage of about 1,500, and I buy these when there's a design that I really like. They are quite expensive. You try to get these, they are extremely, extremely pricey. You can't really find them on eBay. So when you do, they go relatively quickly and they're expensive. I'm putting these in the collectible category. So these are two down here in the collectibles. Now let's take a look down here. We got some 10th ounce slabbed and graded bullion, and then that's that. Okay, so we got 0.3 bullion coins, so we're at 0.3. That's 20.5. We're just going to go with 20.5. This is 20.8. Move these off to the side. These aren't really numismatic since they are just 10th ounce eagles. Yes, they're slabbed and graded, but there's really no... you're not going to get anything for these, really, unless there's something like an error or something like really, really crazy. Otherwise, they're just going to be bought and sold for the gold value. All right. Now, numismatic. Okay, this is the pre-33 stuff, but slabbed and graded, high-grade stuff. MS65. We got the rest are MS64s. So we have a decent amount here. We've got the what do we got here? I'm sorry, I'm just we got the $20 double eagle right here. All right, close to an ounce. Same thing here with the St. Gaudens MS65, close to an ounce. Then we've got right here the $10, the Indian, and the Liberty head. Okay, those are close to a half ounce. All right, so we're at 2.5, and then we've got these, which are kind of down by like the 10th ounce. All right, so let's just round this down. This is close to a quarter, so we're at 2.75, and then these two. So we're going to say we are just about at 3 ounces of the numismatic stuff, and we've got this, the pipsqueak, I call this. So numismatic, we're at about 3 ounces. So let's move this aside here, move this over there, our nice little division wall there, bing, bang, boom. Numismatic stuff, and let's just set this over here. What a mess, trying to keep everything in the frame. So numismatic, what did I say, 3 ounces? And then lastly, this is kind of between numismatic and collectible. We'll just throw this in the collectible section here. 1 ounce tiger, lunar tiger, collectible, slabbed and graded. So now we're at 3 of the collectible stuff. Let's put this down here. And then in this box, oh crap, we got this little box here. All right, considered, oh, I have more stuff over there too. All right. These are Semi-Numismatic. These are the Great Commanders series. I think there's only going to be 10 of these. These are 10th ounces, so we're going to put these as bullion coins. We're going to put them as semi-numismatics. So that's half ounce. We're at 12 and a half. All right, let's put these right there. Then we've got these three, which are the Lunar coins, but these aren't slabbed and graded. So because these aren't slabbed and graded, I am going to classify these as semi-numismatics. We've got quarter ouncers, so that makes that 13 and a quarter of the semi-numismatics. 13.25. Put that down there. And then we jump over here. So now we can get this out of the way, give us some space. Let's put this stuff over there. All right. In here, we've got a whole bunch of 10th ounce and some quarter ounce collectible stuff. All right. And I'm just going to count them up. We've got the Spanish coins here in 10th ouncers. This Al Capone coin, itty bitty little gram. That's so cool. Actually, I think it's half a gram. 10th ounce phoenixes. Okay, so basically this is a 10th ounce collection box. Lunar coin. We got some more lunars, 10th ounce lunars. Dragon, a snake. What else? And the kookaburras. So we've got all these different things. So let's just count these up. We got, that's a quarter ounce, quarter ounce. We're going to throw those off to the side for a reason. Quarter ounce, 10th ounces. Okay, so let's just do quick 10th ounce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Is that a quarter ounce? That's a quarter ounce. So that's going to go down there. Now I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. These are grams. So we have 20 10th ounces. So that's 2 more ounces of semi-numismatic plus this quarter ounce. So that's 2 more 15 and a half. 15.5. And then over here, we've got these. I'm going to slide these over now that you've seen them. Let's move those over. We've got another quarter ounce coin. And then this is another quarter ounce. So 2 more quarter ounce bullion. So that puts us at 21.3. And then the last coin, this is bullion grade. The last coin is this right here. And this is the flowing hair collectible piece. And this is probably my most valuable piece. All right. Limited mintage of these. I believe only 10,000 were struck. I think they were doing more. Somebody keeps telling me in my comments and I always forget. Beautiful piece. But we're going to put this over here in the collectible, and that's 1 ounce. All right, now that we've gotten everything out onto the table, now we're going to tally everything up and look at everything in terms of percentages of a whole. All right, so we've got 3 ounces of numismatic gold plus 3.75 of pre-33 plus 21.3 of the bullion grade plus 15.5 for semi-numismatic plus the 4 ounces of collectibles. Oh, I made a mistake here. Son of a gum. Let's try this again. 3 plus 3.75 plus 21.3 plus 15.5 plus 4 plus 0.25 equals 47.8. Had a little bit of a setback, like I said, with having to sell off some of those buffaloes. So total, we're looking at 47.8 ounces. And now when we break everything down, you can see that the majority of everything is in my bullion coins and semi-numismatic. We're looking at over half, like almost 2/3, if not more, in the bullion and the semi-numismatic. The reason being, again, is the majority of people who stack, they're only interested in stacking bullion grade coins. They have no real interest in the high-end collectible stuff. And if they do, and these are, I'm talking about the hardcore stackers who are looking to buy the cheapest amount of stuff possible, those guys and gals are looking for just bullion grade. When it comes to my collectible stuff and numismatic stuff, much lower position, right? 4 plus 3 plus 3, we got, that's 10 plus that is, so we're looking at around 11 ounces. So really it's about 3/4 is like bullion grade semi-numismatic, while the other quarter of my positions are in the collectible and higher end stuff. And I think that that's a good breakdown, honestly, not because I did it that way, but because you don't want too much exposure in collectibles or the semi-numismatic or pre-33 stuff, only because, especially the collectibles, if there is an extreme amount of hype over a particular item, if you don't know who you're going to unload it to, you are going to get screwed. I've seen it happen time and time again. It's actually happened to me before. Luckily, I have the platform that I do with the following that I have, because usually I could find somebody that's going to look to buy something. But even then, it can be difficult. So there have been times that I've had collectible items that I wanted to sell, but unfortunately was unable to recover any sort of premium. And the only reason why I did make money is because I bought the gold low and I sold it higher. In fact, I've had to sell stuff at spot, but it's worked out for me because I purchased it low and I sold it when it was much higher. And so I was able to make money that way. In fact, most recently that happened with the Great Commander series. I had a 1 ounce Napoleon and I wanted to sell it and nobody was buying it for the premium. And so I ended up selling it at spot. So that being said, when it comes to looking at your gold stack and your position of everything, you want to make sure that you're probably leaning more into like bullion grade coins and bars. Occasionally you want to treat yourself fine. Get yourself a collectible piece or maybe like a pre-33. But always remember your exit strategy, who you're going to be selling to. And that's essentially my breakdown. It's going to, once I get the buffaloes back, I got to get 6 more of those. And I also have to buy myself a kangaroo and a Britannia. So we're looking at 8 more ounces that I got to go for in straight bullion grade coins. My position is going to be much heavier in bullion than it is in the collectible and the pre-33 stuff. And going forward, any of the collectible stuff that I do buy, it's going to be in the 10th ounce size or slabbed and graded pre-33. This I bought because of the hype and I did well on this. And I'm glad I did. But you got to be very cautious, especially when it comes to gold. All right, so I hope that this video was useful and helpful to all of you. I'm curious as to how you are breaking down your silver and gold portfolio. Let me know in the comments below. Are you heavy in one area and not in another? Are you looking to make some improvements or some adjustments in the way that you are stacking? Let me know in the comments. And again, if this video was helpful, please make sure you blast that subscribe button and get that bell notification clicked. That way you get updated with any new content, and I'll see you guys on the next one.